Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Wednesday, everybody, and welcome back inside the Lock Shop. Nielsen and Huss back with you once again, coming off Tuesday night action in the National Hockey League, and we got 4 more games to dive into tonight as well. As always, the Lock Shop brought to you today and every day, forever, by our partners at Coolbet. If you're not yet signed up for an account, you can do that over at Coolbet. Use the code LOCKSHOP when you do, and you'll get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. Things are good in Winnipeg today. Hey, Huss?
We don't need to do a vibe check around here, my friend. I can tell you it's maxed out after that hockey game last night. I mean, I think we talked enough about it that the Winnipeg Jets certainly had a chance to win this series and to, go toe-to-toe with the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't think even the most optimistic Jets fan could have imagined the way that the team came out and played last night, completely handling the Vegas Knights in just about every aspect of the game. And honest to God, man, playing, I think, their best game of the entire regular season when it matters the most. And God knows this team has driven people crazy this year. There's been some real highs. There's been some real lows. But I really do think that what they had to go through in those final 10 games of the season to pick themselves up off the mat and get into the playoffs and play playoff hockey had them very much ready to go, more so than Vegas was last night. And, what can you say about Pierre-Luc Dubois? Who knows whether he's going to be here for long, but while he's here, that was the guy that they were hoping to get when they made that trade for Patrick Laine. He was an absolute beast. And Adam Lowry, who for my money was the catalyst of the turnaround for the Winnipeg Jets in the last month of the season, had a huge game as well. And a special Lock Shop thank you to Mr. Adam Lowry, because it was 3-1 with 2 minutes left in the game. Lowry scores the empty netter to make it 4-1. Vegas then takes a penalty, and the big guy looking out for the Lock Shoppers teams up with the 2 newest Jets, Nino Niederreiter, Vlad Nemestikov, to put a little exclamation point on the victory with the power play goal with 20 seconds left to hit the over for both of us in the Lock Shop. So it wasn't a perfect night last night. We got
Colorado. Colorado. That
Seattle.
Was the one that killed us last night, right? Like, wow, Seattle.
But,
holy smokes.
But I'll tell you what, had a couple nice totals last night, and I cannot wait. We've got 10 to 20 centimeters, just to put it into perspective as to where I'm at right now. It's not
snowing there, is it?
No, but it's going to tomorrow. 10 to 20 centimeters. Doesn't even dent me right now. Could not care less. Saturday afternoon here in downtown Winnipeg is going to be an absolute madhouse, regardless of what happens tomorrow. But can't wait to see what happens Thursday night, because I imagine the Vegas Golden Knights will have a big pushback. But the Winnipeg Jets, to do what they did without Nikolai Ehlers, who was not cleared to play by doctors, that was a hell of a way to start off a series for a road team, getting the split right off the bat and playing the way that they did.
So the vibe check in Winnipeg is good. Vibe check here in Edmonton, not great yesterday. Refocused. Game 2 tonight. We'll get to that. I've got a nice, juicy exclusive that's already posted over at Coolbet for that Oilers game tonight. But what about the vibe check in Toronto today? And for that, we go to Jake Bolin Moss with Coolbet. Jake, how you doing, buddy? I know it's probably a tough one for you last night.
Happy to hear you're happy, Huss. I'm happy you're happy. Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably guess how I'm feeling. I'm not going to sit here and go into a big rant. Rough game 1. I'm trying to I was trying not to be the guy who the sky is falling and the world is ending after game 1, and I was. And then, obviously you take a sleep, and, I went for a little walk this morning, and you reset the mind a little. And I laid out some points last night. I said, you know what, let's get Yarncroke up to the first line, which he skated with today. I said, let's get Nyes in the lineup for an impact. He's skating on the third line with Achari and O'Reilly. I said, let's win game 2. And then I said, let's find Bunting a nice little booster seat for the press box, and he can enjoy his time up there. So I'm expecting he'll get a game. I'm pretty fed up with him, to be honest with you guys, but just got to win game 2. We'll take a split into Tampa. I'd be totally fine with that.
Well, and I think it is important to note It is just game one. I mean, we react so viscerally to every single game as fans. Uh, the Leafs steamrolled Tampa in game number one of last year's series, and we know how that one ended up. So there still is a lot of hockey left to be played. But I'm just interested, just from a standpoint of the game. Obviously, you don't like to get down the way they did, and the start in the first period and that late goal to go from 2 to 3-0, I thought was a real killer. But I mean, when you look back at that game, what was it? Where do the Leafs need to be better right off the hop? What are some of the areas that I'm sure Sheldon Keefe will be looking at to try to give them a better chance to start better and, more importantly, finish the job?
You know what? I said it right from the start. I said this to everybody. The Leafs had to bring the game to Tampa, and they were going to be fine. But what happened was exactly what I didn't want to happen. Was Tampa brought the game to the Leafs, and guess what? It cost them early with that early goal. Just bang in front, dirty areas, the kind of goals that win you playoff games. And then, like you said, it goes to 2-0, and it's nothing that's not doable at that point. But then it gets to 3-0 at the end of the period, and you're just like, you're looking at everything, and you're like, what's happening right now? Like, I just watched this team, given like it's regular season to playoffs, and it's totally different. But I just watched this team really work Tampa really well, not give them anything dangerous, and obviously the penalties didn't help, and there's a lot of talk about the reffing and the Wes McCauley thing and whatever, how it gets here, it's insane, right? But yeah, I think it's just a matter of, listen, let's bring the game to Tampa Bay and see what they got, especially now if Hedman's not going to be 100%, if Chernak's not 100%, they're going to be down a couple defensemen. Let's bring the game to Tampa, pressure early, get a little forecheck going, get some cycling going, because you know what, that Nylander line looked pretty good last night with O'Reilly and Tavares. I think they had probably the most offensive zone time. Obviously, we only scored our first 2 goals came on the power play, and then the third goal was that point the game was out of reach. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of, hey, let's bring the game to Tampa and say, okay, we're going to give you our best. Come beat us, basically. You can beat us at our best. Well, hats off to you.
Jake, when you were on your walk this morning out there refreshing, did you see other Leafs fans also on that morning after walk contemplating the future?
Yeah, I mean, I saw some neighbors and stuff. I keep my headphones on. I don't need to have any long conversations with people. It's tough, right? I'm in a few group chats, and it's basically all Leaf guys.
Yeah, meltdown.
Because,
yeah.
Listen, I'm a negative guy. I'm probably in there saying negative things, but it's everyone's seen it before, and it's just and everyone has their own opinion, right? And then people are getting mad at each other, and it's what are we doing, guys? We're cannibalizing from the inside here. Let's settle down. So we've turned it off a little, we've reared it back, and then we got game 2 tomorrow. I mean, you can't. That's the thing. Like Huss said, we beat Tampa pretty good in game 1 last year, and guess what? Still lost in 7.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and I compared it to playing a match play in golf. You could lose 10-0, or you could lose 1-0 in overtime, and guess what? You're still down 1-0 in the series either way. So you're 1 down, and you just got to get it back to all square tomorrow.
I'll be honest, in the situation that the Leafs are in, and I think I would go this way for most series, I'd almost rather get waxed in the first game and have a major reality check than, for instance, what happened to the Dallas Stars 2 nights ago, playing a great game, deserving to win, and going 5 periods and losing on a heartbreaker in overtime. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that the Leafs have to be better in a lot of different areas, and they will be. And it was certainly, I mean, a cold shot of reality for that team last night. Let's just move on from that game last night. I mean, I know you've been paying attention to the first couple of nights. What game ones, any teams have sort of surprised you or stood out so far outside of the one that obviously you're most locked in on?
Well, listen, I mean, I think I saw today, I think the home teams went 2-6.
Yes. Yeah. Road team 6-2. Yeah.
4 for 4 last night.
That's probably regression to the mean coming here, right? You got to expect the teams that did lose at home, especially, are coming out and trying to even the series. So obviously we're going to see Edmonton tonight. I'm probably going to root for them, even though I hate rooting for other Canadian teams. No offense to you guys.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
I'll probably be rooting for them. Yeah, no, I think that's a lot of the focus is going to be on these teams that did have the home ice and all of a sudden have lost it now. And it's like, okay, can you at least get it back to even and then try to get one on the road, kind of get it back to 2-2, right? I think that's obviously you don't want to jump too far ahead when you're these teams, but I think obviously 1-1 is your goal, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be 2-2, try to get it back home, regain home ice, right? So yeah, I mean, obviously the Seattle thing was pretty impressive last night. I didn't stay up too late. Obviously, I was in a bad mood after watching that game. I was done with watching hockey for the night. But yeah, waking up this morning, seeing Seattle had beaten Colorado in Colorado, which was an impressive win. But that could easily be a 5-game series. Like Colorado could win the next 4, and I don't think anyone would say, "Oh, what a surprise!" Like after that first game, because that's the type of team Colorado is. Like you said, the Dallas one that. I have them. I go pretty deep in the playoffs. I think they're a good team. Obviously, you get a rough bounce in that in the double overtime, and that's kind of how it goes in the playoffs sometimes. But it feels like outside of maybe the Boston series and maybe the Carolina series, that most of these series are probably going 6. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it just feels like now that, especially with the road teams winning early, feels like we're in for a few long series coming up here.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you. And I mean, I had that same theory yesterday in the lock shop when through that 3-gamer on the hoops. I mean, you had 3 higher seeds lose in the first game. In the NBA, it seems like home court is far more important than it is in the National Hockey League. So we went 2-0 last night. I didn't realize the Bucks game was tonight, so we got to wait for that one. But I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully it won't happen in the Jets Vegas series, but I do think we'll see bounce back from some home teams that did lose. And hey, it's great for hockey fans. If you can get these first round series to all go 6 or 7 games, it means that we've got arguably the best 2 weeks of the year watching wise from a fan perspective with stacked lineups each and every night. You on anything tonight, Jake?
I haven't locked on anything yet. I mean, it's just a matter of like, I gotta get my head right here. No, I haven't locked in anything yet, but like I said, I probably focus in on Edmonton, and then sorry, I'm just trying to think of the games here. Carolina, I probably wouldn't go Islanders personally. Boston's, you can never really bet against them. I honestly I don't know what a Stars Oilers money line parlay. I think I actually had that for game 1, Stars Oilers. Maybe that's something I look to tonight. Try to get both those home teams back to even, and then maybe tomorrow it's a 4-teamer. Try to get all those series back to even. Not unlikely, but tonight I don't hate that little Stars Oilers, maybe a money line parlay.
Yeah, plus 141, and then I said Coolbet, you actually have the opportunity to put that 10% multiplier on it. So basically, look it up in and around plus 150 for those 2 teams to get it done. And we will certainly be talking about both of those games with our picks for tonight.
Yeah, we do. That's you know what. You sit back, watch the rest of the lock shop here, regroup, Jake, and then slot a few things on. All right, buddy?
Yeah, all right, boss, all right.
There you go. That's Jake Bolin Moss. Great stash on Jake right now, by the way. My goodness, looking sharp. There's a couple of games that you should get on because we both like them. There's 2 plays here that we're both on. Going to go head-to-head on one game tonight. I like that Draisaitl goal prop you've got. I can kind of tie into my exclusive that I've laid out there, which is just a really, really nice number. So, Huss, let's get into it, buddy. We got 4 games tonight, another full slate, playoff action. Where are you going? Where are you starting?
Well, okay, let's start off with Dallas because this is a game that we're both on. This is the game, and again, I don't want to get back into a negative mindset, but I'm still angry about Hartman scoring that freaking double overtime winner when he shouldn't even been playing in the game. And I was even more triggered realizing that Ehlers couldn't play last night because of that cheap shot. But I digress. Dallas was the better team in the game against Minnesota. They, I thought, had way more high danger scoring chances. And really the story of the game in overtime was both Philip Gustafsson, who was absolutely brilliant in net for Minnesota, but also credit where credit's due. I mean, the Minnesota Wild defensemen and forwards absolutely sold out and did everything they could to prevent that overtime winner by Dallas. And they ended up hanging around long enough to get one themselves. I do think Dallas comes back though and wins this game tonight. I honestly think they have to win this series. Going down 2-0 and going to Minnesota on the weekend is not a recipe to hang around long. And listen, I thought Jake Ottinger was brilliant as well. bottom line is a couple more of those should have gone in. I think Dallas gets it done tonight. And I like the number. I mean, it's not too juicy, -151 for the Dallas Stars. And just by the way, while we're talking about this, if you do like Dallas to come through this series, this is a great time to bet them after a favorite loses in the first game. Dallas is +117 to win this series. So if you were sort of hedging on, oh, maybe you didn't like the number beforehand, but you still believe in the Stars, +117 right now on the series price. I mean, I saw those underdogs win last night, and I'm thinking that, maybe something happens tonight. I'm actually going to go to one of the two series that the road team didn't win, and that's Carolina and the New York Islanders. And Carolina got off to a good start in that game. They had the lead for the entire game. And the New York Islanders still hung around, was right there, right till the final tick of the clock. And, I mean, we've talked a lot about the loss of Pacioretty and then the loss of Svechnikov. The Islanders just seem to be a team that is going to hang around in games and give themselves the opportunity to win. And, of course, they've got a hell of a goaltender in Sorokin there. So I'm going to take a bit of a swing on an underdog tonight and take the Islanders money line. I really do think that one of the two teams, the Panthers or the Islanders, are going to win tonight. And I don't know. The Florida Panthers and Boston Bruins, it's a little too much, although the number's nice. I mean, +174 on the Panthers if you think they can get back in it. That being said, I'm rolling with the Islanders, +140. Find a way, get this series tied at 1. There's a lot of playoff experience in that dressing room with Atlanta. I know Barry.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Anymore. And I think they can hang around against a team that, is not at 100% and just doesn't simply have the scoring that they normally do. I am going to go to the Boston-Florida game, though, and fire on an over. Now, this game, if you look at it right now, is at 6. And it was actually at 6.5 as well. If you like the 6.5 over, you actually are getting plus money at +105. But the over 5.5 has actually gone down a little bit to -147. And, listen, Alex Lyon's been an amazing story in the Florida net. But Boston, I think, just has so much firepower. They will score. But I also think that the Panthers, given, the talent of, Barkov and Kachuk, they put a ton of pucks on net normally, that they'll have the opportunity to pop a couple too. So I think we'll see some goals tonight. I'm going to take the over in that one. As I say, I got it in at -150, but it's -147 right now if you want to adjust it to 5.5. And then I was looking for some value in this Kings-Oilers game last night. And I'm with you, and I can't wait to bet this exclusive that you put together because I was kind of thinking about a number of those same components. I looked, and I'm like, okay, Connor McDavid, you can't keep him down, although the Kings have done it better than anyone this year.
Only 3 points in 5 games. Yeah, 5 games now.
Didn't have any last one. That's only going to last for so long. But if you look at the number for points, over 2 points in the game, McDavid's still -150. So I'm a huge Draisaitl fan. I think we saw how dangerous he was in the first game, and I think he realizes that, there's a lot that's on him right now, plus money to score, +113 to score a goal. If you like Dry for 2 points, you can get +115 on that. But I'm just going to jump on the goal. Leon Draisaitl, +113. And I did consider Oilers puck line at +116, but I sort of like your route on that. Thinking about maybe a regulation win, which they certainly should have had last game that slipped away, and that's at -133. But I'm locked in on a Dry goal right now, over 5.5 in the Boston-Florida game. An upset on the money line for the Islanders in Carolina, and Dallas to tie the series at 1 at -151.
Yeah, the Oilers were 16 seconds away from a regulation win in Game 1. And good call on Leon Draisaitl tonight. I know a lot of Oilers fans will probably hop on that with that. He's a playoff monster. I mean, the guy is a playoff beast. We saw what he did last year, essentially on one leg. He's the 3rd fastest ever to 60 playoff points behind only Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. Like Leon Draisaitl has another level in the postseason. I think we saw that in game one. I thought he was excellent in game one of that series. That quickly ties into my exclusive here. We'll get to the overall 3-game exclusive that we got that you can find too, and that's over a 4-1 number. But if you believe in the Oilers bouncing back in regulation tonight, I mean, a lot of that is probably going to fall on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. McDavid coming off a game in which he's out pointless. He's been contained quite a bit from the Kings so far in the regular season and now, which has led to a number that, like, in the regular season, this number would have been like plus 350 with what the guys, it's plus 875 on the boost. Away. Me too. I looked at it, I was like, what? Plus 875, of course they're going to be on this. So McDavid over 1.5 points, so 2 points or more for McDavid, a Draisaitl goal, and the Oilers in regulation in game 2 is plus 875, which is just an insane number. So if you want to get on that, it's up right now, Lock Shop exclusives. I feel like a lot of Edmonton's going to be on this rather quickly, so it's something you want to go get a look at. Actually, wait now. Now it's at plus 400.
I was just about to say, it might have been a mistake. I'm like, that sounds like a mistake.
Oh, I'm so rattled right now. I was just like, plus 875. It's too good to be true. It was too good to be true. That was on the original graphic that they threw over. It's actually plus 400. Damn it. Huss, I was so excited for that. Oh,
yeah. Well, listen,
man.
I'm still betting it. I'm still betting it.
Yeah, I'm still going to get on that too.
I would have loved it more at twice the number, but yeah.
That would have been nice.
When you think about it, the Oilers reg is minus 133. The
875 never made sense.
Minus 150. We would have been more than happy to take it.
Yeah.
Listen, and that's there. And while we're at it, we do have a partner parlay tonight, combining a few of these picks tonight. We've got Dusty's Oilers in regulation. We've got the Stars to win, Stars money line, which we're both on. And we've added that Florida-Boston, which is over 5.5, 6+ goals in the game. That's coming up at plus 430. So we got a couple options for you in the exclusives. And if you don't like the ones that we put together, check out the other ones. There has been with the playoffs going on, with the hoops, with the pucks, and of course the Blue Jays going right now. There's never been more options in the exclusives. And I mean, the great thing about those is that, if you like them, you can jump on them and you get a bit better number than what you'd get if you were putting them in yourselves on the site. So let's get a couple dubs tonight. The team one with the picks, and then obviously that one locking in on the Oilers game. I do expect a better game from Edmonton and maybe a more complete game.
Yeah.
What was the word on the Nielsen show today? I mean, cautious optimism going back in.
Cautious optimism still. I just saw Matthias Janmark going to be out for the rest of the series, and he's become actually a pretty important piece in their bottom six. But that should be something that they would be able to overcome. They've gone to 11-7 a bunch this year, so I probably could just roll 11-7 tonight. They just beat the Kings twice with 11 forwards and 7D there at the end of the regular season. Look, the Oilers haven't lost back-to-back games in ages. I would be very surprised if it happens here in the playoffs all of a sudden. So I'm going to go to Edmonton in regulation. The other game I'm different than you on would be Carolina. I'm going to stick with Carolina to go up 2-0 in the series tonight at minus 165 on the money line. Their last 4, the Islanders beat them in their first meeting of the year. I think it was 6-2. The last 4 games, the Islanders have only scored more than 1 goal one time in those 4 games. So I think Carolina does a good job against an Islanders team that's a little hard up for offense in the first place anyway. So I'm going to say Carolina gets it done at home tonight at minus 165, but I'm with you on Dallas 100% at minus 152. Another play on Dallas if you're looking for this is why I wanted Dallas money line, but if you're looking at Minnesota under 2.5 goals. I mean, that's something you can play if you're a big believer in Jake Ottinger, like both us and I are. I think that number is like minus 170. If you're a little bit worried about the money line, I still think money line would be a better play there. But let me just look at this total goals. I want to see Minnesota. Oh no, I wrote it down back. Under 2.5, so minus 147 for Minnesota tonight. So that's a number you could play as well if you wanted to, because I think Jake Ottinger, the guy's brilliant. He's an amazing goaltender. One of the few guys that I think could carry a team to a Stanley Cup, and I think he gets the job done tonight in game 2. So Dallas money line at minus 152. If you're looking for a different play, same type of value, Minnesota under 2.5 goals tonight at minus 147 is something that you could look at as well. Gotta love it. Hey, nice job on that NBA last night. moving in the right direction there, buddy?
Well, you know what? Speaking of the NBA, that third game that we need to lock in is the Bucks and the Heat. I thought that they were all on the same night. I didn't realize that one I was betting into the following night. So we're 2 down, 1 to go. But we've got a big home favorite. We just need them to win for what would be a plus 125. It was a little bit of a larger wager, thinking that those teams would come back. So that'd be nice to get ready. Other games tonight, your Lakers are a slight road favorite in Memphis, 1.5 points and minus 111 on the money line. I'm not sure what's up with this Heat Bucks game, but it's offline and the numbers actually come way down. It was like minus 400 or something from Milwaukee. I'm looking at minus 270 right now, but again, it's off the board temporarily. And then you got the Nugs minus 370, Timberwolves 3-1 underdogs. I don't think that that's happening anytime soon. I just can't wait. When are the Kings playing again? When are we lighting the beam and knocking the Warriors out of the playoffs? Sacramento plus 185 money line in game 3, and Draymond Green is suspended for this one. So what a great story. Being from Winnipeg, smaller market, not a lot of extended playoff success ever. I got a soft spot for Sacramento. They've gone like 16 years, I think, 14 years without making the playoffs. It was the longest drought in North American sports. This team is fun to watch. They're completely anonymous to most people that don't really follow the NBA. But I'll tell you what, it is bedlam there in that arena.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
And the Warriors, they have one of the best offenses in the league, and the Warriors can't play defense. The one guy that can play defense is Draymond Green. So
yeah, the only thing they have going for them is that the Warriors are like 11-30 on the road this year, but 30-11 at home. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how you can be so shitty on the road, but so good at home. But not having Draymond, I mean, I always question his efficiency and effectiveness anyway. But you said it, Huss. I mean, for a team that's very offensive, to lose a guy like Green defensively, that's a big blow for the Warriors for sure. But yeah, that game's tomorrow. I can't wait for that.
I'm going to consider a sprinkle on the Kings money line at plus 185.
What's the series price right now? Do we have a series price? Is that over there?
We certainly can. Let's see here. Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors. Kings minus 169, Warriors plus 138.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a fascinating series to me. You got this dynasty and this upstart team that's never had a taste, and it's been a nice start for the upstarts. So I'll see if that can continue.
Kings, if you think the Kings can get one of these ones in Golden State and come back home with plus 1150 for Kings and 4. I'm not sure I'm that aggressive in on the Kings, but we'll see what happens. As I said, there was some real. The other series that I'm really interested in to see how it plays out now, it's going back to MSG, is that Cavs-Knicks series. And I was just checking the scores last night. I was watching the hockey, so I can't really tell you how the game went. But I can tell you that Cleveland is still a favorite in the series, despite losing a game on home court, minus 135. But if you like the Knicks, plus 110 with home court advantage, and I can tell you MSG is going to be rocking when they get out there for game number 3.
So lots to go. NHL, NBA playoffs, obviously Major League Baseball, tons to get to. We'll continue tomorrow with more NHL playoff action right here on the Lock Shop. We set up another Jets game tomorrow, Huss. Maybe talking about an Oilers victory as well. So if not, this city's going to be a full-blown meltdown tomorrow, which will be interesting.
The dream of the Lock Shop series in round 2 is very much alive after last night. But McDavid, especially Draisaitl, need a goal. Let's take care of business tonight and get one step closer to the Battle of the Titans in Western Canada in round number 2.